Welcome to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast with Mike Kincaid and Jake Goebel. Join them as they experience specialty coffee and document their journey. These friends explore roasts and roasting methods, brewing equipment and techniques, and review the cafes they visit along the way.
Thanks, Brioni, and thank you for joining us for episode 62 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast, where Mike and I talk a little bit about roasters. What's the name of the cyclone? Yeah, no idea, buddy. Manny G makes his recommendations. We talk about coffee that we're drinking right now in our coffee review, the places that we visited in our coffee experiences, and we also touch on coffee history again. Let's jump right in. Well, welcome to episode 62 of the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. I'm Mike Kincaid, and I'm sitting here with Jake Goebel. Sorry, reverse that. I am Jake Goebel, and I am sitting here with Mike Kincaid. And we are drinking a Costa Rica Tarrazu.
It's going to become a norm.
Not a single origin, but instead a single source. A single source, and that's good. Mike is still drinking out of a spoon. His cupping spoon, Cat and Cloud. Big shout outs to Cat and Cloud. If you haven't been on their podcast, Chris Baca's video log, you need to get on it.
V-log.
But anyhow, Mikey went out and splurged big on us. He bought himself a cupping spoon. He bought me a cupping spoon. Thank you, Mike.
You're
welcome. It's a
welcome.
Cat and Cloud cupping spoon. And then he's been drinking his coffee using that cupping spoon. It's been fantastic. Let me tell you what's not been fantastic.
Whole new world. What?
This Costa Rica Tarrazu from Sam's Choice that you hustled me into drinking.
Well, I was, let me just give you a little breakdown there. I was sitting there one day, minding my own business.
Yeah. Got slapped in the face with some Costa Rica.
Walking through Wal-Mart, and every time we go to Wal-Mart or any grocery store, I like to hit up the...
You go to the coffee aisle?
I go to the coffee aisle.
I never go to the coffee aisle.
Oh, I always do.
Maybe I should start.
Well, I think if I would recommend anything here, I always think what would be the best. Or if I have to buy something, what would I buy? So I'm always looking at it.
Remember we wanted to do that. $100.
The survival video.
Yeah.
We still should. So this is new. Sam's Choice. They have upped their coffee game. They know. Sammy, he's coming for you. He's not sitting down.
Sammy's coming for you?
Yeah.
Sammy is coming.
So they have all these neat, what they call single source. They had like Costa Rica, Guatemala.
It's the same coffee.
Yeah.
It's the same coffee we're selling as the Saguaro.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant really their offerings were all the same. It's the same coffee, and the way they do that is by roasting it the same. No, which isn't too far from the truth. So what drew me to this one is, yes, Costa Rica Tarrazu is our
same
region as our current Saguaro offering.
And we wanted to know, should we be worried?
This was like $6.78 or something like that.
It was
$7.
It cost them as much. It cost us as much to buy the green beans as it cost them
to bring a product to market.
Yeah,
full packaging. And so they had this neat packaging, this design. It comes ground in a nice kind of third wave bag with the the Ziploc top like ours.
Pre-ground for your convenience.
Yeah. Or you can get this nice canister, which when you hold it, you kind of feel like you're holding a canister of roasted nuts or something. It's a little odd. I'm not sure I like it, but I was like, we got to try it.
We got to try it because it is a single source. From the same place, it was light roasted according to their bean guide.
Yeah, no.
What's it called? Bean.
They were thinking, I think, of their clientele. It's called the bean meter.
Oh, that's right, the beanometer.
They should have had an O in the middle there.
Bean meter, yeah, the beanometer.
The beanometer.
The beanometer. It's a bean meter, and it's 4 beans. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the lightest roast that you can get from Sam's Choice.
Light roast.
Super light roast.
Let me just read this
It's
for you.
almost Nordic, this light roast.
It's light, yet balanced. With bright notes and hints of berries grown at high altitudes in the tropics in rich volcanic soil. And in case that wasn't enough information for you, we have the latitude and longitude on there.
Of each bean?
Of the farm that it came from. I wonder if we should test this. We have phones. Plug it in and see if it comes up.
Yeah.
Texas? That's not right.
That's Arkansas.
So that's it. They say nestled between the Pacific and the Caribbean and bathed in a tropical climate, Costa Rica is truly a coffee grower's paradise.
Wow.
Its diverse topography topography.
Topography.
Thank
It's
you.
a big one.
Is home to more than 130,000 coffee farms, all
Right next to
benefiting
Benometer.
from elevated locations and rich volcanic soil. Nowhere is the soil more
America than Costa Rica. Wait, what?
fertile than high up in the Tarrazu region, often called La Cuna del Café.
Should we just jack all of their
Oh, I didn't know
marketing writing and put it on our own stuff?
This is good right here.
Because we don't put volcanic soil.
No, we don't.
Is that a selling point that we should start using?
Even though our bean supplier, Sweet Maria's, said that ours was the highest
shout-outs.
grown in Costa Rica. So probably pretty close to this. But then they have the last line here says it's also known as, so they said La Cuna del Café Costarricense. You can read that.
You are
the
so good.
birthplace of Costa Rican coffee. I'm not sure.
Oh, man. I have no idea.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But they say it's the birthplace of Costa Rican coffee.
Perfect.
It's here in Tarrazu that some of the world's finest Arabica beans are grown. Brimming with bright notes, the coffee produced in this region hints at tropical berry flavors before fading to chocolate and spices. A delectable, light, yet rewardingly complex beverage.
Yeah. That's very interesting.
Is that what you're getting?
Well, here, now, they're light. I wanted to go back to their light roast. Their light roast is not very light.
Would you typically associate light roast with oily?
No, I would not. Now, if I told you that so grown at over 6,000 feet in Costa Rica's San Jose district on the El Corral farm and milled in the Tarrazu Valley, it's a single origin with a traditional flavor. A big-bodied cup that has a light sugar sweetness, roasted nut tones, and notes of chocolate milk, roasted almond, and cinnamon. It works well at a 15-to-1 ratio in a pour-over, drip brew, or a press for those who like a little stronger cup, but is also great at a 20-to-1 ratio. Is that better than its diverse topography is home to more than 130,000 coffee farms? Here in Tarrazu, the world's finest Arabica beans are grown. Brimming with bright notes, the coffee produced in this region hints at tropical berry flavors before fading to chocolate and spices. A delectably light yet rewardingly complex beverage. Which one do you like more? Should I just steal their stuff?
Well, you did a good job because theirs has a couple statements I don't like. World's finest. And you know what I mean? It's like saying the world's best cup of coffee.
It means nothing. It's meaningless.
Yeah.
It's like, bro,
it's arbitrary.
The Yemen beans cost like $60 a pound. Green.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Some of the world's finest. You could say that about anything. Well, some. Well, what's your definition of some? Well,
it's broad.
Yeah,
very broad.
No, it's interesting language. I like ours, but to me, the whole judgment should be made upon the descriptors.
Yeah.
Do you get berries?
I don't get any berries.
I didn't get any berries.
Now I got to tell you. Well, I got a whole bunch of burnt it flavors from this because their light roast is not light at all.
Sorry.
It's oily. It's like light to first crack. Yeah, get the spoon in there. Use the spoon with it. It was not very good, and I am not worried at all. I was a little concerned initially when you brought it over because Mike kind of surprised me with it. He was like, surprise, here's your competition. And I was looking at it, oh, man, because if they did a good job roasting it, I think we would be in trouble because you can buy it from at Walmart for the same price. It roasted, packaged, delivered for the same price that it costs us to buy the green beans alone. I'm not even talking about the bags and the boxes and the stickers and the anything else that goes into bringing our product to market. And if it's the same bean and the same quality, then the only thing that we have left is, hey, we're Jake and Mike. Can you please help us?
That's it.
You know what I mean? You're supporting a micro roastery, small business Saturday, blah, 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 blah. That's the only thing that's left over. There is no competitive advantage because the coffee is not better.
You got it. But one thing we don't have.
What's that?
They have a stamp.
They have a More Taste Guaranteed stamp with an 800 number.
Do we need a More Taste Guaranteed stamp?
I wish I need to get a better mixer so we can start calling people.
That would be great.
Start calling them. We just call them on the show, live and on the show. Hey, what up? This is Mike and Jake from Jake and Mike from Orange Cactus Coffee, and we'd like to talk a little bit about the Costa Rica Tarrazu that you guys have.
I think it's funny.
One moment, please. We'll wait.
If you don't love it, we'll refund your money. Oh, good. Visit us at Walmart.com.
Walmart.com. But it's not as good. We do roast better coffee, so I'm thankful for that.
I think they would have been onto something had they done this and actually say maybe it's $10, $11, $12 even.
Yeah.
And actually have a special. They could do that. They totally could do that.
Easily.
You know what I'm saying?
They could buy Wal-Mart could buy
Costa Rica.
Could buy Costa Rica, yes. But they could also buy, what's the name of the
What are you talking about? You're pointing at the wall.
The cyclone, bro. The cyclone. What's the name of the cyclone?
The Loring?
The Loring. They could buy Loring.
They could, out of California.
And make you an offer you can refuse. They could buy Loring.
Every machine that you've got, we're getting into single source. Single source.
Like
SS?
Like Starbuck bought Clover, the company that made the Clover.
Exactly.
Like, there was a couple cafes that had some Clovers. Not anymore, bro.
Not anymore.
You're not going to get them serviced anywhere. You're not going to get them repaired by anybody. They are now property of Starbuck.
CSSS. Sam's single source.
Ooh, SCSS. Sam's Choice single source.
SCSS.
SCSS.
But it's just merely packaging and hype. It really is.
It really is. It's burnt at coffee. It probably is a better bean. It could very well be a single source bean.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure
what's in there, they say it, but they don't understand what the consumer is looking for. So they just throw it actually, they understand what the majority of consumers are looking for. It's you and me who don't understand what consumers are looking for.
We have no idea.
Because we're looking at a very small minority of coffee drinkers and trying to appeal to them.
What's funny is they have a stamp on here, another one that says single source, but it says emitted new on top of that, whatever that means. I think it's some type of import stamp.
It's cool.
And then underneath it, they have class and unit with a line.
Yeah.
So the class would be kind of a rating of how good the coffee is, what class. And underneath, until is kind of hinting at it's good until. Yeah. But there's nothing there.
Some designer did a really good job of making it look special when really it's not.
Yeah. They did. They got a nice little map of Costa Rica.
Whoever did that should take over our stuff and make it look special when really it's not.
Yeah, come make over our Tarrazu packaging. Jake will do the writing.
And look, remember we were talking about this last time, Brandywine? Remember they have
the seal, the wax seal
on it. And Sam's Choice
They totally took that.
Well, it's not real hot wax, but it's a picture. It's an image. It's a screen printed image of what it would look like if it were hot wax sealed.
Yeah, total craft.
And they could do that.
Manufactured.
They could double the price. And
handmade.
They could double the price on this.
They could.
They could roast it right, do it right, and put us all out of business.
I think
maybe not all of us, but
I don't know. Maybe Walmart's smart and they know that their people don't want that.
Yeah, and the admitted new single source, it's good for a year.
It's good for a year. Yeah, on the bottom. I was looking on the bottom of the peanut can.
Yeah,
it says best if used by April 15, 2018. So we're assuming
just in time. If you buy this now, as long as you drink it before you get your taxes done next year, you're good to go.
Yes,
it's tax coffee.
So if you got $7 to spend and you want 12 ounces of coffee, there are even better options than this.
Yeah,
I would point you in the directions of Pete's. That's got a fresh roasted date and only lasts 3 months. And you could probably even get some more flavorful options if you just pop into your local Starbucks. You might pay a couple bucks more, maybe $10, but
what else you could do if you wanted? If you had $7 to spend and you wanted great coffee, you could email Mike at orangecactuscoffee.com and be like, bro, I've only got $7. Can I PayPal you $7?
Absolutely.
Can I send you $7 and you cover the rest for me and ship me some coffee?
I'll send you some green bean at cost. You're welcome.
And maybe you could just, give me a little air popper guide.
Yeah.
Remember Chris? That's where he's rocking air poppers, or he was. He was rocking poppers.
So you went right into it, but I had to follow you with the cream and sugar on this one.
Yeah, I went straight to cream and sugar because as soon as I smelled it... As I smelt it, as soon as they hit the schnozzle, it said it was an after smell. It had a burnt after smell.
Yeah, it is. It's very roasty.
I don't want an aftertaste, after smell. I think that's a thing. If it's not a thing, it should be a thing. But it's that lingering smell that stays after you sniff something. Like, I can't get it out of my nose. Like the fart that never leaves, or like the gym socks. Or like, there's something in my room.
Yeah.
There's some socks left somewhere.
It's the particulates that get stuck to your nose hairs.
They're hiding in the corner and they're dying somewhere. And that's what happened. Those coffee beans hid in the crevices of my nose and died. And as soon as I smelled that burntedness, I said to myself, self, this is a cream and sugar.
It is.
Mandatory cream and sugar. There's not going to be any savoring of any flavors. There's not going to be any berry in the beginning. There's just going to be burnt it, and I'm hoping that I get enough creamy, sugary flavories.
And a lot of... Some of you out there might be going, well, what did you expect? And this is what I expected, but I still wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, give it a shot. And
well, I really expected when I saw it, the way that they set it up, single source and all their things, and the light roasted.
I thought we might be onto something.
I expected
even just a
better.
hint of something. That's what I was thinking.
I really did.
Right?
I really did. I didn't expect it to be so dark. I expected it to be
like,
I expected them to have put some resources behind it instead of just kind of repackaging it and marketing it. I thought to myself, they could afford to hire us right now and be like, hey, Mike, Jake, congratulations. All you guys are doing is you're going to take over Sam's Choice single-sourced coffee. You're going to podcast every day.
No problem.
You're going to oversee the roasting every day, and you're going to make sure that a great product gets out there. Done deal. That would be one phone call. And there's probably, a dozen of you listening. If you got that same phone call from Sammy, if Sammy called you up and offered you, $250,000, $1 million a year, you'd be on the next plane to Arkansas.
Make it happen.
You'd be on the next plane to Benton, Arkansas, and you'd be like,
Bentonville.
This is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. We're rocking that. So I thought for sure that they had put a little bit more into the actual product itself instead of just the marketing.
I thought so too. Even just a hint of it, I would be, they've got us in their crosshairs. You know what I mean? They're feeling the market out, and maybe they are. But the thing with this, it's a good study though in packaging because it does grab you when you walk by it. Their bags, I think, are really cool.
Yeah,
I almost bought the bag even though it was ground just because I liked it so much more.
They're doing a good job.
They really are. Yeah. It's a cool looking bag.
They're really coming more for Starbucks. Starbucks reserves. You know what I mean? That's who I think, when they look out, when they survey the landscape, and they say, ooh, look they're doing the single stuff from the same farm, same area. Somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about coffee got word from somebody who does know more about coffee, and they said, we can do this. They're upping it up.
They're upping it up.
They're upping it up.
Well, I think what they're trying to do is take a chunk, and I thought this was interesting, and this was something that we mentioned last time that Chris shared in his presentation, that the biggest coffee market is still Folgers. It's not even Starbucks. And I think they're trying to take a chunk, like you said, out of a page out of Starbucks book, but yet going after the big group of people and saying, here's something a little better.
Yeah.
Pay $3 more.
I still love me some Folgers. That black silk.
The black silk.
That black silk, $9.86 for a big old tub. That's good stuff. Throw that in your Mr. Coffee. Nice. Throw that in your Mr. Coffee with a little bit of cinnamon on top.
You got it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a crowd pleaser.
If we had money to burn, let's start a cafe and only sell Folgers.
I'm telling you.
And just remarket it.
I'm telling you, if this Costa Rica Tarrazu was good enough, I was going to go buy it, bag it, and ship it out as Orange Cactus.
All our beans, are single source, single origin.
Just straight bite it, repurpose it, repackage it, and send it out. And you know what? I'd even go get a real wax seal.
Nice.
Tip my hat to Brandywine, Sam's Choice. I got you.
Add a little bit more.
I got you.
A little bit more. We have notes here and many places we want to go, but one thing that's not in the notes that I'm just reminded of, I shared an article with you about caffeine content.
I love caffeine content.
And since you mentioned Starbucks,
Starbucks, should we put them on blast now?
My memory. Should we discuss caffeine content again, just in relation to that article? And since we're talking about Starbucks,
yeah, they don't care. They do not care how much caffeine you consume. In fact, the more the merrier. The more addicted they can get you to their stuff, the better off we all are.
It's harsh, but
it's true.
The proof is in the numbers.
Proof is in the numbers.
We'll link to this article if we can remember to.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's very hard to find if you just search Starbucks caffeine content.
I'm just going to add a note. Starbucks article link.
This article was all about how much caffeine is it good to consume on a daily basis. Things that we've talked about before. And, there have been some numbers around 500 milligrams.
We've recommended staying underneath 500. We have not personally stayed under 500 all the time for all the coffee that we're trying. But we do that for you. It's a sacrificial gift of love when we go over.
We throw ourselves on the sword.
Yes.
And drink 10 cups a day.
That we can report back to you.
But in this article, they recommend 400 is a good number to start with. And then they break it down and they say, okay, here's some of your popular restaurants or coffee joints, McDonald's, Starbucks. And then they throw in energy drinks, Red Bulls. How many of those can you consume and still remain within that threshold? And it might surprise you. The most you could drink is actually of Red Bulls. You could have the most Red Bulls because they have the lowest caffeine per little can.
I was totally shocked at the amount of caffeine that was in Starbucks coffee.
It was.
Totally
was
shocked.
It not?
It was a shocker, especially they're light, they're blonde
So
roast.
for comparison, real quick,
it was insane.
An average cup of coffee, brewed with a standard ratio, I would assume anywhere probably 16, 17, 18 to 1, right in there.
Yeah.
Is about 80 to 90 milligrams of caffeine.
That's what I would say.
Which is also in a can of Red Bull, 80 milligrams.
80 milligrams, yeah. Well, the Red Bull, they do say, and they do say
yeah,
it's
they tell
80
you.
milligrams, and they put it in there. They straight up put it in there, so it's not naturally occurring inside, Red Bull vines growing in the wild.
Yeah, it's not a guesstimate.
Yeah,
it's a figure.
Yeah.
So when tested, their tall black coffee, standard coffee, had 200 plus.
It was a lot
milligrams of caffeine.
It was a straight up 200
more than double in just their standard black. So you're looking at.
How does that even happen though? How do they do that?
I don't know. And who gets the tall? Right?
Nobody.
Very few.
Grande.
You probably
Grande is it.
You shoot for the medium size, which is what, the 16. 12, 16, 20, I believe, right?
Hey, can I get a Grande Pike with room for cream, bro?
Yeah.
Grande Pike.
And you are packing in. So if you go anything above that, if you're going Grande, you're probably pushing 300 milligram. Man, this is just, I was doing so well.
Yeah, you're killing it today. You are killing it.
300 thingamabobs.
Yeah,
of
throw
caffeine.
a T at the end of 100. That's going to help you say milligrams better. 300.
300ths
of a milligram
is what you get in every drop.
Of every drop is 300 milligrams.
Now, here's something even more crazy, right? I was there, and we've talked about this maybe, but I was there.
You were there?
2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I needed a place to camp out.
I was there yesterday.
Do some work.
I was there yesterday.
On my laptop.
I got a laptop in my back.
I never had the pleasure of using.
Off when I half cock it. Sorry. Go.
Yeah, I was trying to help, but I can't.
Yeah, it was good.
So I was there just using my laptop, needed space to work, and I've never had the experience of the
clover.
The clover. They had the clover. It's like, nice, so let's do a clover. So I got a single origin clover, and I worked out, because I asked them, how many grams of coffee do you use, what comes out? They rock it at a 10 to 1.
Crimson and clover.
Which is strong. And as I was asking the barista all these questions about how she's preparing it, she's like, oh, yeah, and we have many people that come in and actually tell us
stronger.
Make it stronger.
Make it stronger.
Use more because they want it even stronger. And I'm thinking, that is crazy.
Cray.
8 to 1. I mean, for a full, not just full 16 ounces of coffee.
I was also surprised at how little caffeine espresso actually has.
Espresso is pretty low.
Espresso is pretty low. Espresso. So
what's the point? How are we talking about this?
Well, we wanted to bash Starbucks, I think, to make ourselves feel better.
No, we wanted to help the people.
Now that that's done, the question that came to my mind after reading that article was, if someone came into your cafe, if somebody came into your coffee shop or cafe,
every time we try, we just look like idiots. If somebody walks up. 2 guys walk into your cafe.
All right, here's the joke. 2 guys walk into a cafe. Oh, man. Should we just stop now? It's 22 minutes. Just be done.
We'll just start over?
Just be done.
What's interesting, though, in that same...
We're 23 minutes into it. I'm not starting over.
No, we can't start over, but I'm going to throw this in. Then you can finish your coffee.
I'm not going to edit it out either.
Don't edit it. Just roll with it.
I'm rolling with it because there's too much work to edit it out. That's why.
In the same Facebook group that I found this article, somebody else commented and said, wow...
That's strong coffee.
He said, 12 ounces for a latte. That seems a bit much, no? And I commented, I said, that's a small in Starbucks land. And he replied and says, oh, I'm from Germany. If you go to a cafe, the average was like 7.25 ounces of liquid.
Yeah.
So it's just this whole different concept of how much we consume here, I think, in America specifically.
We love to consume.
The smallest 12 ounces.
I love to consume.
That blew his mind.
I'm trying to get to 300 pounds.
Let's do it. I think the small needs to be...
Like James...
Stop messing about
James
here.
Hoffman. James Hoffman, right? Hey, if you want to... you want less calories?
Freeman.
James Freeman.
Get the right James, buddy.
You want less calories? drink a smaller portion.
Drink less.
Drink less fatty.
Or take a to-go cup and have the rest later. Split it up. So
Something.
But anyway, I thought that was interesting that
Yeah.
for us, a small is actually almost double compared to some other countries.
That's right. Because have you seen my big gulp?
Yeah.
Bro,
64 ounces?
64 ounces is where I start my Mountain Dew consumption.
I love it.
How much caffeine is in theirs?
It's actually, soda was quite low compared.
Yeah,
Especially compared to Starbucks.
Starbucks.
So that was the point, right? We were getting into how not only is many of their drinks high in calorie.
There was a joke.
Oh, you were...
Two guys walking to the cafe.
Oh, cafe. Okay, continue, sorry.
How do we know how much caffeine is in ours? Do we just assume that it's about 80 because that's kind of the standard and we don't do anything else to it?
I think it's a reasonable expectation.
Or how do we...
I don't think it varies that much.
I think because we care, but how is theirs so strong? How is theirs have
their
that
ratio.
much caffeine?
I think it's the ratio that they're brewing with.
Oh.
Because we've talked previously before about does lighter roasts have more caffeine content, does darker roasts?
Yeah.
And they're really, per bean, there wasn't necessarily a difference.
Right.
Caffeine is not degraded, even in the dark roast, because you have to go so high for it to really start to be roasted out.
And weight-wise, you're using less light roasted beans than dark roasted because more water weight is coming out, so you end up with more beans.
Yeah. So it seemed like the most plausible to us was that dark roasted per cup might actually give you, because you're using more beans per weight.
Might give you a little bit more.
By weight, yeah. And so each bean.
But not a real noticeable difference.
Not a huge difference.
Not a huge difference.
Yeah. So,
unless you're going 64 ounces.
Now, the only thing that could, for some that say, I think they're specifically marketed for caffeine content.
Like Death Wish?
Is you're using a little bit of the Robo.
Well, James Freeman uses a little bit of the Robo on some of his blends.
What?
Yeah.
The Robusta?
Blue Bottle uses a little bit of Robusta, grown in like India and Malaysia. He likes a little bit of the Robusta for some of the specific flavors that it gives, and he throws that into some of his blends. There's one blend, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the book. Do you want me to grab it?
No, but
I'm
surprised.
You're looking at me like you don't believe me. Like I would lie to you.
No.
Have I ever lied to you?
Yes. You've misinformed me many occasions.
But lying is intentionally
I don't think you're
deception.
lying.
Okay.
I'm just, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
He said he uses a little bit of Robo.
Interesting.
From India and another place. I think it was Malaysia, but who knows? Malaysia might be in my mind from that Cobra video that's been floating around on the interwebs.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you wonder why I don't always trust you.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, so Manny G. Manny G does not recommend Starbucks.
Manny G recommends.
Do you think he recommends Sam's?
Manny G does not recommend Sam's Choice Costa. Actually, he'd be far more gracious than we are. We're a bunch of turds. He is great. He would have something nice to say, but since he's not here to defend himself, we're just going to say whatever we want, right?
Well, it's just like the adage with photography. The best camera that you have is the camera that's available to you to use. So the best coffee.
The best light right? What kind of light do you want? Whatever light you can use.
Whatever light's available.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the best coffee?
Whatever you've got available.
Coffee is available. So
if that's Sam's, so be it.
If that's Sam's, so be it. In fact, if you're in Walmart and you decide you want to try an espresso.
Espresso?
Yes, right there in the aisle. Manny G does recommend when you drink espresso, stir your espresso.
Stir that shot.
Stir that shot. Now, let's say you find yourself not in the aisle.
What if you don't have a spoon?
In the coffee aisle. Well, use your finger.
Pinky?
Or use the baristas. Hey, barista. Right? I mean, if she's over there
distributing
it out.
Yeah, the portafilter.
Then you should be good to go, right?
With her finger.
Yeah.
Might as well. Can you stir that when I'm done, too? Since you've already put your fingers all over the ground coffee, why not put it over the extraction? Yeah, the liquid.
That's perfect.
Stir it up. I think the saltiness will help balance it out, actually.
But Manny G really does recommend stirring espresso. He recommends drinking espresso so you can kind of get the flavor of it, and also stirring it to kind of mix it up. He mentioned or referred back to Chris Baca's salami shot, where you break up a shot of espresso by like 5-second intervals or whatever into 6 different cups, and you can see the progression of the shot as it comes out.
Taste it, yeah.
And taste it. And you find that the best tasting one is right in the middle.
Usually, yeah.
So that means you want to mix all of it together, make sure it all gets mixed up.
There you be. Which also reminds me, it's interesting because, and we talked about this last episode about your previous visit to Boss.
Yeah.
They include a spoon with their espresso.
They do.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
They had a consultant from France, I believe.
France. Yes.
Says, hey, include a spoon. And that's why there's a function and a purpose to it. It's not just a plating.
Yeah.
But you also got a spoon this last time, didn't you?
For my mocha.
For your mocha. Do you want to stir that up?
Couple different things.
The
first time I went to Boss, the spoon came with a shot of espresso. It was a double, a doppio.
A doppio?
A doppio. A double, not to be confused with range dope.
A longo?
Range dope, which is how you sight your rifle in. Not to be confused with the range dope. But a double shot of espresso.
Okay.
And came with a spoon.
And a spoon.
And? The spoon was slid inside a folded napkin.
Nice touch.
The napkin was high quality.
It was a real napkin.
It wasn't cloth, but it was like good
like
paper.
thick cotton.
Thick paper.
Real cotton.
Yeah, not cotton.
Not starchy.
Paper. It was paper. But it was a nice napkin.
Oh, yeah. Not cotton.
It wasn't a cloth.
Not paper cotton.
No.
Not cotton paper.
You're totally off track. Come back, Mike. Come back.
I think there's something wrong with the Sam's Choice.
There's it's a lot of caffeine in here.
Man.
Starting to sweat.
Don't feel very good.
The second time I went, I could tell that they were using a cheaper napkin.
No.
But it still came nice and folded for the espresso.
All right.
And then this last time I went, for the latte, or it was a mocha, they gave me the spoon. And I'm like, I took the spoon out, and I looked at it, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this spoon?
Stir that latte, buddy.
I'm not going to stir this mocha.
Stir the latte.
No. So I put it back in the napkin. Actually, I unfolded the napkin because I wanted to see how it was folded. I was like, no, that's not quite as exciting as I was hoping.
Analyzing the napkin folds.
I think the one with the nice napkin, I think it was folded differently. It was sweet. Very cool. So then I put the spoon back inside the napkin. I was like, yeah, done. Yeah.
Especially if
the mocha was very good, though.
Latte art on there. You don't want to stir that up.
Yeah, it had a little leaf.
Yeah, it's
little
nice.
leaf latte art. Yeah, it was good.
So give it a shot.
It was good. But
no pun intended.
You kind of went from Manny G recommends straight into our coffee experiences.
Sorry.
I do want to talk about a coffee experience.
It was
you also
seamless.
Put in here Goatly Roaster.
I just typed on my phone.
Was that on purpose?
Once again, buddy.
Has he changed his name?
Be happy there are notes.
Okay.
Notes don't have to be spelled correctly.
Okay.
And you don't have to air it out that I've made so many typos.
But are we calling him Goatly Roaster?
I don't think he would like that.
Okay, I didn't think so either, but it was on there, so I guess that's
Spell
why.
check. It automatically changes it.
It automatically changes it from Ghostly to Goatly.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep, it does say goat.
But
yeah,
before we get there, before we get into the Goatly, I was trying to make it down to Altitude, a coffee bar. And as I was following...
Where's that at?
It's in North Scottsdale.
Down.
So as I was going into...
the abyss?
Into Scottsdale...
Into Scottsdale.
They gave me... Siri took me to Altitude, but I didn't make it to Altitude. They're both the Hayden. They're like a block away. So I made it... Instead of Altitude, I made it to Village Coffee Roastery. And there is so much about Village that I wanted to talk about. Do we want to do Ghostly Roaster first?
No, it's your call.
All right. Well, we'll talk about the Village Coffee Roastery, and then I'll get into it.
I just threw it in there because there was nothing there.
There were
and
no
I think
notes?
it's a great topic of conversation.
Well, that's a good hook. Good little tease. Stick with us during our next commercial break, because when we get back, the ghost.
We're going to have the Goatly Roaster, also known as Ghostly Roaster, his recent experience and thoughts about that experience. So stay tuned.
When we come back. And now,
we return. You are
from our
never
sponsor.
going to believe what this little girl did with her first paycheck. I heard that on a radio recently. Like, oh, good, I got to tune back in.
Oh, man.
Never going to believe.
That is going to keep me. That's going to keep me
She bought
hanging
food
on.
for the homeless. That's my guess. They have these little hooks. It's every single time.
Every time. You got to hook
Tomorrow,
them.
join us. You are not going to believe what decision.
A tease for the next thing. So anyhow.
Sorry.
Village Coffee Roastery. I ended up going there, and so it's there like a block away. So I went in to try and find Altitude, and I ended up at Village.
Perfect.
But whatever. So
Whose fault is that?
Mine, probably.
I mean, because if you set out to go to, I don't mean to camp here, but it is important. You wanted to go specifically to this place, and you didn't get there.
Yeah.
Was it because it wasn't clear how to get there?
It was me or it was Siri. One of the two.
You're one and the same.
Yeah, that's true. So it's my fault. Because Siri is my assistant. She does what I tell her to.
Exactly. You hired her.
So, anyways, it was a little challenging. Coffee experience. But so, music is starting up outside. In the morning, on a Saturday morning. Music is starting up. There's a band out there. It's very cool.
Nice.
They've got their roaster inside. I couldn't tell what brand it was. There was no badge on it anywhere. But they roast on site.
Yeah, maybe just one of the China-made.
I get in line. A young lady offers me something from the pastry. Would you like anything from the pastry dish?
While you were waiting in line?
While I was waiting in line.
Like she was out there?
No, she was behind the counter.
Oh, okay.
But you have to get in the line, goes by the pastry.
Gotcha.
Box, bin, barrel.
So she was trying to be efficient.
Display.
Yeah.
Can I get you anything? Case. From the pastry case.
There you go.
I'd like to try your chocolate croissant, please.
Nice.
Not for me. For my belly. So she said yes. And
my boy.
then, can you heat that up for me? Yes, be delighted to. Perfect. So she heated it up for me. Whatever. So I get over there.
So needy.
The menu. They have pour-overs.
Nice.
Not on the menu.
What do you mean? How do you know they have pour-overs then?
Because I saw, after I ordered everything, I'm sitting back there waiting, watching the barista. Remember, don't break the gaze. Stare them down.
How many grounds are you putting in there? How hot's your water?
Love that. Baristas love it when you stare them down.
What ratio is that?
Are
those bamboo filters?
Yeah. So they have a Chemex in the back. And then off on the wall,
like you can see
they have a homemade display.
Homemade.
Of 4 or 5 pour-over rack, stack, row, whatever.
Yeah, got it.
A wooden
perfect visual.
thingamabobber.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I got it.
No problem. Check something.
Just a fancy coffee maker.
No. It's like a row.
A stand.
A stand.
Okay.
A stand that
a
will
pour-over
fit.
stand.
A pour-over stand that fits 5.
We're getting somewhere.
There we go. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. You're so good at this.
That's what I'm here for, buddy.
I am not very good today.
In the back. Okay.
So I got espresso.
Yeah. And a machine. Do you know? You remember?
I think I took a picture. I think it was La Marzocca.
Oh, nice.
So as he's making it, he uses cake knife, frosting knife, kind of like a spatula, but a straight edge spatula, that you use for you can use
like
for
a putty knife,
walls, like a putty knife,
but for food.
That
maybe.
You see, well, who knows what it's similar shape, but I've seen they use them because it was round at the top, so I think that's why it was like a frosting knife.
I see,
because the putty knives are sharp; they have sharp corners.
Yeah, for corners, edging.
Yeah, but they didn't have that. But that's what he was using to level the espresso instead of his finger.
So he was swiping it back and forth.
They had a little bit. And there was a little holder. Somebody thought it out. There's a little holder on each espresso hopper underneath the hopper on the grinder.
Yeah.
The doser. There's a little holder for the putty knife to sit in there.
Yeah, nice.
And that's what you use.
It's better than the finger.
It's better than the finger.
Or the hand.
They're using the putty knife.
Or is it stock flesh?
And so I said, using the putty knife. He's like, yeah, I think the owner or something, whatever. I used to work at a different cafe. You use the finger up there, but putty knife's fine.
Was he not really feeling? Was he embarrassed a little bit?
No, not at all. He was cool. He was just busy. And then I asked him. So when he gave me my espresso, came with a spoon and a packet of raw sugar.
Interesting.
Now I used to drink my espresso with a packet of sugar. I since have gone away from it. I just take it straight. But since he gave me the packet of sugar with it, I said, you know what? I'm going to try it with the sugar. So I tried it with the sugar. It was very good.
That's good.
And then I got a mocha to go as well.
Nice.
But as I was sitting there, I saw the Chemex and I saw the pour stuff, and I said, hey.
What up here?
I don't see it on the menu.
What y'all hiding back there?
And then he's like, we don't do it in the morning when it's busy.
It's a secret menu?
We only do it in the afternoon when it's not as busy. And I was like, why don't they just get you some help?
Well, you asked why. Isn't that what he said?
Oh, yeah, because we're too busy.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I said, why don't you offer it in the morning? Because it's too busy.
Yeah.
It takes too long.
Exactly.
The pour-overs take too long.
That's why.
And then I answered, why don't they just get you some help? And he shrugged, smiled, went back to his work.
He got the putty knife back out and made the next
got the putty knife out. Because it's funny, that one gal at the pastry case, one
working pastries,
gal
the baker,
at the register,
yeah,
and old boy,
the espresso maker,
making all the drinks.
Yeah.
Why don't you get that man some help?
So they limit the menu instead of...
the menu was huge.
Well, I'm just saying they limit what you can order. There's windows. There's times a day.
Oh, yeah.
They limit what you can order. It used to be like McDonald's. Remember, people used to hate...
window.
We mean McDonald's breakfast is over. It's 11 o'clock.
Window.
Yeah, it's a pour-over window. It's a time. Which really says we're not that interested in doing it.
Exactly.
It really is what it says.
It's not profitable.
Yeah.
It's. I'm not going to do it.
We're not going to...
For speed, which is obvious by the corner, right as you're leaving, as we go to leave, I didn't see it coming in because I opened the door and it was kind of behind the door.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stand or kind of a coffee bar with 3 or 4 air pots or little spigot pots.
Okay.
Whatever, coffee dispensers. And so then it says, please don't forget to pay for your refills. So you can come fill up whatever you want, drop $2
Just
here,
get
$2
some batch
there.
brew.
Yeah, just a little batch brew.
Something decent.
Be
on your way.
Throw $1 or $2 in there and be on your way.
Interesting.
And, it's on your honor. On your honor.
And so you have these shops then wonder why these pour-overs and these other brew methods that they try to incorporate because everyone's doing it don't pick up in popularity. And then soon they disappear. And soon there's no longer any reason to have them at all.
There's not.
And they go, it didn't work out. Nobody liked it. Well, you didn't have it on your menu.
Yeah.
You didn't promote it.
Yeah.
You didn't show people the joy of having a nice single cup pour over.
They were busy too.
And that's why maybe their business model, instead of upping their game,
don't need it.
They don't need it. They're making money.
Yeah.
It takes time. Yeah. I guess that's the key. If you can get your drinks to your consumers faster, and that's why I think Cat and Cloud's method of single serve using an espresso machine at lower bars is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to try it.
Yeah.
They basically make Americanos.
I just want to go.
Well, not even Americanos because they pull a full cup through the portafilter at a lower pressure.
Yeah.
And it's basically a brewed coffee.
So there's
Quick.
that. So you could do that, and that's what they do for their
90
single
seconds
cups.
or so, yeah.
But there's also the AeroPress, the Chemex, the pour over. There's a lot of different drippers
There's
you
different
could
options,
use.
yeah.
There's a lot of different options. And if you go to like Cartel, if you get a small, medium, large, it's an AeroPress, a V60, and a Chemex.
Yeah.
There's 3 different. They have 3 different
Well,
brew
Press
methods.
has the Seraphim.
Yeah, and Press
that will give you a pour over, and they can help other people while it's going.
It's just, there's a lot of different options out there, and I think it's wise to not offer all of them, but instead to decide what you want to do.
Decide hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to go for it.
What you're going to be about. Because Blue Bottle, they just do pour overs.
Yeah.
They have an espresso machine, but they do individual cups.
Well, and I think, too, if you have a stand... Like, we've been down to Royal a couple times, and they get busy. It's kind of a coffee bar stand, right?
Yeah.
But they've got 2 or 3 V60s.
Yeah.
And when you see a barista that's been doing it a while and kind of gets tuned into the workflow, they get several cups going at the same time.
Yeah, and they've got pre-measured doses already.
So there are efficient ways. I bet you, too, we'd love to visit Blue Bottle, and if you've been there, let us know. Do you wait a long time? Or have they figured out how to be more efficient while still... using those methods.
And maybe you don't care.
Maybe you don't care because it's Blue Bottle.
But Ghost had the same problem where he went to and visited a cafe.
Yeah, it's local.
And they wouldn't make him a Chemex.
It wasn't time.
It wasn't time.
How dare you ask for a Chemex?
Yeah, there was nobody in line, but it hadn't reached the time, so no, I'm not going to do it for you. Boss says we don't do it till 11. No way, no how.
That's good stuff.
And it's 9:30 in the morning. What's wrong with you, boy?
Chemex only afternoon. Only once it gets hot and nobody wants them is when we offer them.
Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do that. Let's do that. So he went to he be hating him the menu though, right? The light, medium, and dark roast. Is that what he was?
Yeah. So he expressed some things that I thought were excellent points and things that we've talked about. I don't know the name of the shop, nor does it matter. He really likes the shop. He says the coffee's amazing.
Yeah.
Loves the coffee. But when he rolls up and he asks, some questions, he's trying to figure out what he wants to order. And he's finding difficulty in places that describe their offerings as just light, medium, and dark. And he is speaking from a place of experience and knowledge being a home roaster. He knows light, medium, and dark don't tell you very much, if anything, about
They mean
coffee.
They mean different things to different people.
What does that mean?
It doesn't matter. Stick to flavor. Stick to flavor descriptors.
Give them something to go by, and that's where I think he was pulling out, and that's where he was going. He said one of the things he's seen, I think at Perk did, they had little glass jars or even maybe cube containers that were clear. You could see the bean, which, look at that. See where it was from, and then on it were even some flavor notes. Who cares how dark or light it is? Here's what you can expect to get from the drink.
You can pop the top and give it a sniff.
Yeah, exactly. Take a look at it, see, that's what I want. I want to go with this one today because I want something light, zesty, fruity, or I want something dark, earthy, chocolatey.
Yeah. Give me blueberries to the face.
I think there's a better way to go about it, and that's what he was saying. There's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And there is a better way, and I think shops will utilize that better way if they care. Always comes back to caring.
Yeah.
Always comes back to caring. Is it easier just to say, it's our medium house blend?
Yep, it sure is.
Oh, okay,
Your
good.
face just twitched. You were staring at me, and your face was so mad at
What's in the hopper?
medium house blend.
Medium house blend.
That your face twitched.
Oh, it's crazy. So we feel his frustration. And then he also...
It's good to hear that you're not alone. Remember, I did a little daily ristretto with that, from that article by I Need Coffee. Big shout out to I Need Coffee. But you're not alone. The same frustrations that you have, the same frustrations that we and many other people have. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if just profit sharing and paying baristas more money is. Do you experience the same thing in Australia? Right? We were talking about Australia, but we've never been there.
We've never been there.
We heard some podcasters. We heard some podcast shows where Australians were on talking about how you can be a barista and actually make good money, like $20 an hour. And you just have to spend some time working your way up to that. Mm-hmm. Does that alleviate some of these problems, yes or no? Because in my experience working with people that make a good deal of money, you would think that they should care for all the money that we're paying them. But this was in law enforcement. And the answer is no, just because you're paying them a lot of money. In fact, the more they paid, the less they cared. The more they were paid, the less they cared.
Well, especially if they continue to get paid.
It was always like that.
And their care goes down. They're like, I don't even have to care to get paid.
I'm working overtime today.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything. And that was just commonly accepted. Oh, you're on overtime? Just sit back and chill. You don't do anything.
You don't have to work twice as hard.
No, I'm going to do everything for you. I'm going to work harder for you because it's my regular shift. You're here on overtime. Just chill.
You're doing us a favor, even though we're paying you time and a half.
You're doing us a favor by showing up, even though you're getting paid more money.
Yeah.
And for some of them, it's encroaching on $50 an hour.
Yeah, good money.
Good money.
Lawyer money.
Lawyer money. $40-50 an hour.
Wow.
And
it's a good point.
I want to make sure that you don't have to do any work.
Yeah.
So I would be delighted to know if they have the same problems. If you're listening, do you have the same problems? Hit me up.
Yeah, what's the solution?
Wow.
I think for me...
We are already at 46 minutes, and we have done nothing.
It's the new space.
We have done
nothing. The new space
nothing.
is just...
It's so incredibly... No, we went an hour and 10 minutes... the last one in the old space too.
Yeah,
it's so
I was trying to blame something.
It's so.
We feel like it's just us and you're talking. We just want to keep going. We have so much to go about.
Yeah.
So just to summarize on Ghostly real quick, we feel you. I think the coffee shop needs to decide what they want to be about. Do they want to grow an empire, or do they just want to serve and make a quick buck and constantly be trying to hire new baristas and bring
an empire?
Yeah,
grow an empire. I am so convinced I want to grow an empire. I want to. In fact, I am so empired on right now, and I know we're transparent, but right now I'm not going to tell you everything that I want to do.
No, we can't. We ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. It's too much.
Yeah.
So we did a little teaser, and I think we can't hold out. We did mention we were going to throw something in there about the history.
The 19th century craft roaster. Your roaster might kill you. Coffee history with Michael Kincaid. Yeah, kind of boring, but listen anyway.
That's what we said.
All right, let's do it.
So you want to dive into that?
Yeah, let's dive into it.
Today's little history lesson is coming from the Book of Roast.
And that's from Roast Magazine. Remember, Manny G recommended this book. It is a 460-page monster. It is like a college textbook is what it looks like. It's about $125. As soon as Manny G recommended it, Mikey was all over it. Mikey went out and bought himself this Book of Roast and is recommending you maybe do the same. I don't know. But we're going to read a little bit out of it for coffee history.
Exactly. I can say, where'd you learn to roast? Oh, I read the book.
Oh, I read the
manual.
Yeah.
I know everything there is to know. So let me find it real quick because we're just going to read you one little section about some early...
That wasn't enough? I didn't talk enough? Dude, I
Sorry.
gave you like...
I was trying to read the book. You gave a whole intro on it?
I gave a whole...
I'm stalling because I don't know where it is.
I was stalling for you. I was stalling like 30 seconds. But I am excited. Okay, I'll just keep talking. So Village Coffee Roasters is a block down the street from Altitude. And I'm excited to go try Altitude. Maybe I'll go try it a week from Saturday because I've kind of been going to Camp Verde one Saturday for wrestling and then Phoenix for the next Saturday for jiu-jitsu. But I am really torn right now because I've been to Thanks a Latte twice in Camp Verde. Once was a good experience, once was a poor experience. I don't want to become the coffee jerk, coffee snob, but part of me feels like maybe I am because if I've had a bad experience, I don't want to go back. But like with Boss, I knew it was going to be great because I'd already been there twice and it was awesome both times. And then the third time, it was not as good. So should I go to Camp Verde, Thanks a Latte for the third time? And see, and then make the decision, best 2 out of 3, bad service, good service, or should I not? It's been kind of the same thing with the Step 1 or First Step, I can't remember what the name of it is, over at Stepping Stones, the cafe down the street from us. Once was good, once was not so good. Should I keep going and figure it out? What do? Is one bad experience enough for you to say, I'm not going back there ever again? Or will you go visit again? Will you go give it another shot? Will you go give it another try? That's what I'd like to know. Hit me up. All right, so
I found it.
The late 1800s. Thank you, Mike, for so this is for finding it in the Book of Rose. I mean, it's a big book. And this is
I had the page bookmarked, but it was pretty big still.
It's just coffee history.
Yeah, it's just coffee history. It goes into a little bit about, like you already mentioned, there's not much written, but they found this journal by this guy that worked in a roastery in the late 1800s. Ferdinand Ach, a coffee roaster from Dayton, Ohio. Yeah.
This is what he writes in his journal at the end of the 1800s. So, but did you have a question about the jingle? Do I need to rework the coffee history jingle?
Oh, no, it's great. I don't know. You probably didn't see the video, but I put the lyrics in there in case people don't know what you're saying.
Oh, good.
So they can see how, it might be boring, but listen anyway.
But listen to it anyways.
It's good stuff.
Right. Okay, good. So Ach notes that he enlisted as a bookkeeper at age 15 with one Edward Canby coffee roaster in March of 1877. As Ach recollected, my title of bookkeeper was more complimentary than deserved. Office duties, including the sweeping thereof, occupied not more than 3 or at most 4 hours daily, except at trial balance time, and even then interruptions to assist at other functions were frequent and incessant. Every half hour or so, the head and only roaster, who was also foreman, engineer, and porter, would ball up the basement hatchway, "All ready!" which meant that the accountant, auditor, house salesman, and general white-collar functionary, myself, was to beat it hastily to said basement and with a wooden hoe-like implement rake the discharging coffee into the pan so that it might be properly cooled. Without electrical motors to power the roasters or cooling trays, manufacturing enterprises in this period typically relied on a single steam-powered engine for power, using leather belts hanging from overhead pulleys to drive the machinery. As Ach described his employer's setup, the premises we occupied were known as the Wine of Tar Building, a patent medicine concern that had gone out of business in 1875. A rather ramshackle affair equipped with a very eccentric steam engine, which at periods startled the residential neighborhood by unearthly shrieks, caused by something letting go and releasing the steam. Our entire force of girl operatives would rush into the street and both remain there until assured that no explosion was imminent. They would be closely followed by yours truly, not out of gallantry, but because he then, as now, believed in safety first.
Perfect. Good job. Good reading.
Thank you.
So, big problem that we don't have today, right?
Humble beginnings?
We
starting in a ramshackle place,
worrying that your roaster might explode, and
girls running out on us, shrieking into the street, and not coming back in to speak
work
with us.
Yeah,
to work with us.
We'll work once our life is no longer in jeopardy.
Those things sound very familiar.
So I thought it was quite funny. The steam engines that they used to run these machines.
Steampunk.
Steampunks.
Now they got steampunk coffee makers.
Yeah.
With vacuums and tubes and drippers and droppers and all that other stuff.
Something decent.
Something decent. That's all you really need is a little something decent.
Thanks for reading that, Jake. Hopefully you
welcome.
found that informative and somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Good. Well, I wasn't talking to you, but
You were talking to them. You.
it's always nice when you respond to me.
Got it. So did we want to talk about the Orange Cactus Coffee Update or Coffee Legend, or just kind of, it's 50, we've been at it almost an hour here.
No, I think we're good. We
Yeah.
got the history in. I think
Yeah.
we should probably wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
And we'll save that. It's good. We've always got stuff to return to.
Yeah. We've got so much stuff to talk about. Maybe we should add a third show for the week.
A third show. Hot dog.
Okay, maybe not.
We'll think about it.
Catch you next time.
Adios.
Adios. Thanks for listening to the Orange Cactus Coffee Podcast. Show notes and links to everything that we talked about are available at orangecactuscoffee.com/episode 62. That's episode 62. If you like the longer format, please let us know. If you're like, bruh, you really need to wrap it up at about the 30-minute mark, let us know as well. Appreciate you listening. Talk to you next time.